I tell you, this Instant Pot has been a lifesaver for me in so many different instances. I bought this thing a couple of years ago. I never even had anything like this before in my life. But I'm telling you, if you don't have an Instant Pot, get you one, because it'll cook you up a supper really quick, and it's always, anything I ever cook in here is so delicious. So today we're going to be making beef stroganoff, and I'm using stew meat, and I've got 2 pounds of stew meat. And I put salt and pepper on them and just a little bit of flour. And I put a couple tablespoons of olive oil on the bottom. And we are going to just kind of brown the stew meat just a little bit, not cook it all the way through. And you don't want to load too much in there at a time, so I'll have to do several batches. Because what'll happen, it won't brown, it'll steam. And so it'll take about 3 batches. And I got all my meat done. And I put just a little bit more olive oil in here, and I'm going to brown 1 small onion. You can see I got a bunch of that tidbits left on the bottom from browning that stew meat, but we'll get it up here in just a minute. We're going to add a couple cans of mushrooms, sliced mushrooms, and I'm just using canned because I am making all this out of my pantry. I'm not going to run to the store and get fresh mushrooms, even though it would taste better. So I'm using 2 cans of mushrooms, and the fluid, the water that comes off the mushrooms, is already getting all them good, tasty bits off the bottom of the Instant Pot, and that's where a lot of your flavor comes from. So I'm just going to saute this for just a couple of minutes. It won't take, you don't have to cook your onions all the way through. I'm going to get me some minced garlic. I'm going to find me some of my canned beef broth. That I've got a video canning that beef broth from a while back, and I'm going to use a quart of it. And we're going to be using about 12 ounces. I've got some fettuccine noodles that I think I'm going to use. So you can see that the liquid off the mushrooms really got all that good fond off the bottom of the pot. This doesn't take long to, I mean, the longest part of this is just cooking your meat, and you'll just put it on and walk away from it for about an hour and let your meat cook and go about your business, whatever you need to do, work in the garden, in the house, whatever you need to do. That's why I love these Instant Pots. I can come in from work and I can throw a full meal together in this thing in less than an hour sometimes. It's smelling so good in this house. We haven't had beef stroganoff in a while, and it's a really good dish to make when you've got stew meat that you need to do something with besides making stew all the time with it. Stew meat is a good cut of meat that you can do a lot of things with. I can tell you one thing, stew meat at the store is very expensive, just along with everything else. Very expensive. Meat is just so high. This stew meat is off of some pasture-raised beef that we're blessed to get from a local farmer. So let's finish this up so we can get our meat cooked. I put a good tablespoon of minced garlic, and I'm just going to stir that up good and just let that saute for just a few seconds. Smelling good. Now I'm going to take a couple tablespoons of flour, and I'm going to stir that around good. And we're going to let this cook for just long enough. Just kind of cook that flour just a minute or so. That way you don't have a raw taste. Your flour's cooked. You don't want that raw flour taste. And that's also going to thicken up your gravy, your juice for your stroganoff. I'm just going to kind of keep it stirred good, keep it from sticking. I'm going to go find my beef broth. That home canned beef broth turned out so good. I've already used several quarts of it in different dishes. So we're going to use a whole quart. You see how rich that beef broth is. So I'm going to stir it, and I'm going to kind of get some of that flour that may be stuck to the bottom. Get it worked off there. Now, if you want to add you a little bit of garlic powder or anything like that, feel free to do that. But I'm telling you, this has a lot of good taste to it already. I'm going to add my stew meat back to my pot. And we're going to add about a good tablespoon of Who's Your Sister sauce. And one to grow on. Worcestershire sauce. Who's Your Sister sauce? However you say it. It makes it taste really good, y'all. Now this meat's going to cook for an hour. We're going to put our lid on. And I've got it on manual, on high. Make sure it's sealed. On seal. And then I'm going to put it for 60 minutes. And that meat will be good and done and tender. Then we'll come back and finish it up. It won't take long either once we get our meat cooked. Once we get our meat cooked, we just add our noodles. Y'all gonna be so upset with me because I forgot to film putting my noodles in there. So after the meat was done, I took the lid off and manually let the steam out, depressurized it, and then I broke up 12 ounces of fettuccine noodles and put them in there. And then I put it on for just 3 minutes, on manual, on high for 3 minutes. And that will cook your noodles. If for some reason when you lift your lid and your noodles don't seem done, put them on for another couple of minutes. But it usually only takes 3 minutes to cook them noodles up. So here's our finished product. After 3 minutes, I manually took the seal off and depressurized it, and here it is. And I put in about a half a cup of sour cream, and it is delicious, y'all. It turns out so good, and it's just the Instant Pot does such a good job making this stroganoff. So I hope y'all try it. I'm going to leave the recipe here just at the end of the video so y'all can copy it down. And I'm sorry that I forgot to video part of it. So guys, I hope y'all love this recipe, and I hope y'all try it. You don't have to do an Instant Pot. You can do it just on your stove. And y'all have a beautiful day and be happy. Be happy like these two little ones. I tell you, I miss being young, don't you? Y'all have a beautiful week. I'm going to be back with you in just a couple of days. God bless everybody. We love y'all.